Oh, it's been a busy week for these two, which I mean Harry and Meghan, and to the fact you get a third video this week, whether you like it or not, it's coming today. This is it. And we're going to be discussing Meghan's dip back into acting. Some might say that she's never stopped acting, but this is a role apparently. And of course, Harry has backtracked again. so we're going to get into this mainly about Meghan, because I will talk a little bit more about Harry next week. But yeah, I'm just going to touch on it briefly because because. So if you want truth, if you want fact, if you want an understanding of how my thought process works, given my 20 plus years in the field of psychology, then this could be the channel for you. I steer away from clickbait and gossip to bring you what is going on in the world of celebrity and the royal family. And at the moment, it is mainly Harry and Meghan. So as you're still here, grab your drink of choice, whatever that may be, that you'd like to sit back and relax while you watch this video. Mine, of course, is, as per usual, a good old English cup of tea. And, well, let's get into some tea with some therapeutic knowledge. I hope you're having a good weekend, and yes, you get an extra video from me. Whoopie-doo! You're either going to be watching this or going to be like, oh god, not another one. So yeah, in this one we're going to be talking about Meghan's toe dipping back into the acting arena, albeit that some, including myself, might say that she's never stopped acting because she's been acting while she's been in the royal family. And of course, we've also got Harry, who has now decided to backtrack on his Blue Jays Capgate, as he calls it, or Hatgate, as he just decides to name it, for goodness sake. But anyway, so we're going to touch on that a little bit at the end, so make sure that you stay till the end. But I will be exploring it in a bit more detail next week, and I'm sure other things will be coming up as well. So yeah, so this is obviously about Meghan. So she has now entered back into the world of film, and if you're going to look at the mainstream media, which I fully advise to ignore because they just spin this, and I do wonder if Meghan wrote the article, because at this point I'm now starting to believe there are no journalists anymore. There's just like a front of a building with some robot inside where the celebrities can just access this and be like, we'll write this article and you just print it for us. Because whenever we get an article about Meghan especially, unless it's actually some evidential truth, it's such a fluffy puff piece that sings her praises so unrealistically that you're just like, yeah, I'm sure Meghan wrote this. This is ridiculous. Because apparently she was a delight. She was lovely on set, and she was wonderful to work with. I mean, have these people never heard of narcissism? Have they never heard of manipulation and love bombing? Have they never heard of someone playing nice until they get what they want and then they don't? How do they not know Meghan's track record? It can't be rocket science. There's enough things in the public arena for people to see the way that she is. So this makes me think that they're potentially using her to drive traffic to the film, because let's be honest, if her name wasn't mentioned, would we know about it? Probably not. It's not exactly got two people in it that are what I would call A-list actresses. It's Brie Larson and Lily Collins. I mean, they're good actresses, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say they're like top of the food chain. So it's called Close Personal Friends, and apparently it's about two couples, one famous, one not, and they meet on holiday or something like that. And Meghan has a very tiny cameo role playing herself. So, like I say, I don't feel that this is a film that we particularly would have been interested in if it wasn't for the fact that Meghan Markle has been named in that film. And of course, it's because she's still connected to the royal family. it seems to become front page news. So I do wonder if there is some sort of clever ploy in using Meghan. You know, we know that she uses people, so perhaps they're doing the same thing. The fact that she's only been offered a cameo tiny role says to me that they've just thrown something at her, knowing that having her name on the film is going to draw traffic to the film. Now, it's going to go one of two ways. I think it will draw traffic. I think people will watch it purely and simply because, unfortunately, a lot of people want to critique her, myself included. I don't know if I'll necessarily watch the film because I can guarantee you there'll be her part circulated, whether it's on TikTok, somewhere, someone will circulate the part that she has. So I don't need to go in and watch the full film to see the bit she does. And I genuinely do feel that that's potentially what they've done. But of course, if you look at the mainstream media and the puff pieces that are put out about Meghan, she's been inundated. She has been inundated with roles, but she just so happened to choose a tiny role, a cameo role, where she's playing herself. In all fairness, if you've ever seen Meghan acting, she does actually play herself. Even though she has a character, she is the same person in everything that she's ever been in. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not seen her in absolutely everything because no, I don't know. But I have looked at snippets before doing this video, and she plays the same type of character. And it's... some of them are awful. Like some of the Hallmark films that she's done are just awful. I'm sorry, but they are. And even if I liked her, I'd still feel the same way. You know, I'm not, you know, I mean, like I watched Suits, and I actually did like Suits when I watched it, but mainly due to the fact that I really did like the main characters, and I don't class Meghan as one of the main characters. I loved Harvey and Donna, their dynamic. Well, I mean, I just love Donna anyway. I love her character, and just the whole thing was great. Now, when it comes to Meghan, before I knew who she was, you know, in being honest, I didn't dislike her, but I didn't either like her. She was kind of just there. She was Mike's love interest, and she was, I guess, a kind of forgettable character. She didn't really, in my opinion, bring anything to the table. There were elements where I thought, yeah, okay, she's all right, and then there were some that I just didn't even really think about. So you know, and that's just me being honest. I didn't dislike her, and I didn't say, I can't say that I just really liked her. She was just okay. But the others I loved. But then when you look at other things that she's played, and obviously the 90210 in the car, she's known for now. Quite surprised she hasn't had that scrub from the internet. But yeah, she's fluffed up her IMDb. But if you look at the list, there's nothing there that's, apart from Suits, there's nothing there that she was a main part in that's good, that's credible, that you can look at and think, yeah, well, that's a good film. They're all really sort of B-list, is it B-list films you call them? Like films that don't really make it into the mainstream. They always like the ones that almost go straight to video or DVD back in the day or whatever. So so to me, there's nothing really there. She's got a long list of those type of parts, but nothing that's credible apart from what I'd say is mainly Suits. So there's no talent there. Because if she was talented, even not listening to what her cult fanatics say, but if she was talented, she would have been snapped up. You know, she was well known in the industry because of her father, who she's ignored, but he was one of the main reasons why I think she got a lot of what she did, and also then with Trevor. So why wasn't she snapped up? She was around those people. But the reason being is because it's a very cutthroat industry, and you have to bring something specific to the table to, I feel, to get noticed. And if you're not noticed when you're younger, it's just not going to happen unless you are incredible. I mean, I know that there are actors like Morgan Freeman come into it quite late on, but he's phenomenal. So you can see why, but Meghan isn't. And so now we have this other part that she's been given, that she's chosen out of all of the ones that she's been inundated with, but she's playing herself. And I do not believe that she's going to be playing Meghan Markle. I might eat my words and be completely wrong, but I really, 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 really don't believe that she's playing Meghan Markle. My guess is that she's playing herself as part of the royal family. And it's going to be something like, oh my gosh, look, you know, yes, well, one of my friends is the Duchess of Sussex, one of the royal family. You just know that's what's going to happen. And like I say, I don't know for sure, but given her ego, something tells me that it is going to be something like that, or it's going to be Meghan Sussex, or just something. I do not believe, knowing the way that she is, that she's going to be just Meghan Markle. And I think that's why they've used her for the film. Not because she's talented, but because she draws traffic. Now, the sad thing is unfortunately, this show is going to get criticised because she's in it, because she is so unliked that even though people, I think it's silly. I mean, I get that people are going to draw traffic to it, but they really would be better just letting it run by itself and not advertising it with, as in like, she's in it, because people are now going to go and watch this. And because of how unliked she is, the page or the web page or whatever it is where there's going to be comments, people are going to air their feelings on those comments because of her. She is so disliked. And that, in a way, is going to tarnish the film. And it will. I mean, I'm sorry, but it will. And at the end of the day, if they're going to use Meghan Markle, they're going to have to expect that. So yes, it's potentially going to draw traffic. It's going to potentially get people viewing it. How many? I don't know. Because like I say, it's only going to take a few for her clip to be uploaded, and people are just going to then watch that because that's all that's going to interest them. You know, unless you're fans, obviously, of Brie Larson or Lily Collins or any of the other people that are in it. But it is going to get overshadowed by the fact that people don't like her. Now, I'm very careful when it comes to, like when I saw her on Emma Greed, and I've seen obviously on some other things, I am very sort of careful on how I word things because I don't want to attack another person. I mean, look, their choice of having her on is absolutely their choice. And if they're going to be critiqued for the fact that they've had her on, given her history, then yeah, okay. But I don't attack somebody. Like you don't really hear me attack Meghan. I mean, I might be frustrated and sort of like the stuff I say about Harry, because he does frustrate me, but I don't ever really like attack her appearance or her body or anything like that, because it's not necessary in my opinion. But I do understand people that are angry, and I do understand that people just say things because of that anger or how they feel about both of them. So, but it's going to be a bit of a shame because when this goes up, unless they limit the comments, like Meghan has turned the comments off on her Instagram because she's a coward, she, you know, that people are, so because of that, people are going to go across to whoever runs this film, and they're going to do that. They're going to do the same thing. What's interesting is that there was a bit of a group shot, and Meghan wasn't in that. So the two, Brie and Lily, with two guys, I think there was a group shot and she wasn't in it. So I think that she is, like I say, she's almost not really anything. But they've potentially used her to draw traffic for the film, because what would be the point of her having her in there? It's not like she's got a part that brings substance to the film. So why have her in on that? because I think, like I say, because it's to draw traffic to the film, to advertise, to get people to talk about it. And of course they are. I mean, here I am doing a video on it. But it's not going to go well, because we are in a world where when you do so much damage to people that you care about, or things that you care about, like the royal family, the late Queen, Prince Philip, William and Catherine, the children, when you do things like what they both have done, people get to a point where they don't want you to succeed, and they have this anger and this drive to want you to not succeed, want you to fail in everything, and I feel that underneath that, it's because you're not deserving. Those people are not deserving of having something good because of what they've done. It's like rewarding somebody for bad behavior. You know, we know, and I like to bring the therapy side of it into this, but rewarding bad behavior is never going to be an okay thing. But we know that it happens because people find it hard to give consequences, especially when it's family members. And we're seeing this play out with Harry and Meghan, that they're being allowed, in a sense, to do what they're doing, albeit that I don't feel that they really are successful, because they're a joke everywhere they go. But, you know, I think the rest of us, because it feels to us that nothing is being done. And I think for us, it's going to be the titles removed, Harry out of the line of succession, the children off them off the royal website, so to speak, because like I've said before, there's plenty of royals that are not on the royal website. They're not working royals anymore. They shouldn't be on the royal website. To me, they shouldn't even have sussex.com. I'm so annoyed that they have that. You know, I don't understand why they do. So I understand people's frustration and anger. And I think that once that happens, if everything is stripped and gone, I don't think it's going to stop the anger, the comments, etc. I still think people, especially if they continue in the public eye, because people are done. I don't feel there's anyone now that's ever going to say, oh, I think I was really wrong about Meghan. I think she's actually a really nice person and I've got it completely wrong. I think if anything now, more and more people are seeing the truth. More and more people are seeing through them. So the more that happens, you know, when you look at, for example, another example is, say, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. When all of this come out initially, when it was over here in the UK and that the court case come out, and obviously the article by Dan Wootton, and I know that he's obviously since apologised for that article, I believe. But anyway, but when that all come out, most people believed Amber. Because to them, it's like, well, she's done this court case. And even though it wasn't necessarily the same, it wasn't the same as what was in the America, but to them, it was like, well, you know, she's won that one. So that must mean that she's telling the truth. When we saw her come out of the building and photographed by TMZ with a supposed bruise on her face, you know, there were a lot of media outlets that were supporting her. Personally, myself, didn't believe her in any iota. There wasn't a moment when I thought maybe she's telling the truth. And I did do a video on that, you know, way back when. But I saw the majority of people doing that. When he had his court case, Johnny Depp, and he wanted the cameras in, it changed. When people saw through her, it changed. Now, I'm not saying that Johnny Depp was innocent. I think he's got obviously a lot of there's a lot of dysfunction in the relationship, and he obviously had a lot of behaviours that he would need to work through. But he did admit that. But he wasn't guilty of what he was accused of by her. And the fact that she went out of her way to lie and orchestrate a fake bruise and all of those things just shows how manipulative that she was, even bringing in Kate Moss, probably not expecting Kate Moss to stand up and defend, you know, Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder, people that were in a relationship with him. So that was when the truth was exposed. so then what you had then was the social media and the mainstream media flipped and turned on Amber. And when that happens, she had no choice but to go to ground, because there was nobody in her corner, nobody. And in my opinion, that is potentially the only time that Meghan might disappear, is if something comes out that is so damning that she cannot hide from, lie from. And it's not just the mainstream media that go against her, because most of them are against her. It's not just social media that go against her, because most of them are. But if it's the mainstream media and people, say in the celebrity world, that are perhaps enabling her, if everyone turns their back on her, she will go to ground. Now, I don't think she'll stay. I think she'll go for a while and then creep back out again. But that's what I think, that's what will happen. And I possibly think that's the only way that's going to happen, is when William becomes king, that if any truth comes out into what I think in regards to the children and what is really going on, or if things come out when they divorce. But I don't know. We'll see. But I think that this is just, like I say, this is just the film. Whoever's sort of doing this film, I think they are using her for clout in a sense. You know, not using it because I am glad that they haven't used her title. Well, unless some have. So in my opinion, I think this particular film, whoever's running this film, has thought, what could draw traffic to this particular film? Because I do think Hollywood is dying. I don't think people are as enamored by Hollywood as what they used to be. And Meghan is just throwing mud at the wall to see what sticks. It's, you know, she's literally got her toes in absolutely everything. And this is what she's doing. But she's got zero talent, and she hasn't got enough power. When you look at the Kardashians, because obviously Kim has entered into the world of film, and I think that there are some roles that I you know, when I saw her in American Horror Story, I thought she wasn't too bad, but I don't think that she's as good as what people perhaps believe that she is. But again, it's perception. Some people think she's great, and I think they're fans of hers. But I'm not saying this because I'm a fan or I'm not a fan. It's just I just don't think that she's one of the best actresses out there. But they've got clout. You know, whether you want to believe it or not, Kris Jenner is a force to be reckoned with. And I do believe that Meghan is trying to groom her little claws in there by, you know, getting together with Emma Grede, and who's obviously partnered with Khloe Kardashian. So I think that she's just doing whatever she can to make money and to keep within those circles. But I think, like I say, it's a shame, because I think this film is not going to come out well because of this. People may watch it, which I guess if they're going to look at the money side of it, fair enough. But anything else is just... And the comments, wow. The comments are going to be interesting, let's just say. So unless they turn their comments off, which I kind of hope they don't. So before I get into Harry, can I just please remind you to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please go to my description box below. You've got all of the links that you need, whether you want to go onto my other platforms, because I do lots of other things on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Come and join the Facebook page. There's some lovely ladies over there, so come join the Facebook page. The links are in the description box below. If you want to support my free therapy program, there's also links where you can donate to the channel. You can super chat, you can hype the videos, which also helps me, share the videos. You can become a member if you want to, and you get your name going across the bottom. And I will be doing new things in the new year. I'm trying to keep up with everything. If your name hasn't appeared, then please don't worry, it will be coming. But if you are worried, then drop me an email and just put member name, and I'll see that and add your name in. I have an Amazon wish list if you want to treat me, Arthur and the kitties to something. You can treat me to a cup of tea if you so choose. If you like the products that I use, I get a lot of you that say, I love your skincare, or I love the makeup you're using, or my headbands, or whatever it is, then head across to my ShopMy page. Again, the link is in the description box below. there's lots of ways to support not just me, my channel, but also, like I say, the free therapy program. Just so you know, to date, I have now worked with 57 people since I've started. And this is not just one session. Some people get 6, some people get 12, some people have got longer. So if you struggle financially, there is a bit of a waiting list at the moment, but I am getting through them. But it's working. Maybe at some point employ more therapists to create maybe something bigger. And this isn't just the UK, it's people from all over the world. Right, so that's it. And now back to part 2, where we talk about Harry. Well, so Harry has backtracked. Shocker, surprise, I know. He did an interview over in Canada, and what I'm really, really pleased about is that this has not been circulated much. His visit to Canada has hardly been circulated. It has not been plastered all over the mainstream news. William has been so successful. He has been everywhere, you know, not just for the great things that he's done, the star-studded award ceremony that he hosted, just the amazing things that he's got up to. It's been everywhere. You know, people are commenting on, you know, hot Prince William, and it's just been phenomenal. And Harry has just been a bit of a side note, really. You know, he's popped up in the odd thing. But of course, I believe because Harry doesn't get the attention that he wants, that's why I think he did he was part of the letter, though a lot of people believe, as I now do, that it was potentially either Meghan or AI. He certainly didn't write it himself. And if you want to view the letter, it has gone up over on BITESIZE Tea yesterday. But in this, so he's done an interview. And yeah, it's just a farce. He's completely backtracked. Not only that, just blamed his... Well, you'll see. Here it is. I didn't realise how long my video had been already, so I'm actually going to discuss this in full next week and show you the full video and break it all down. But for now, this is basically, he has gone back on everything and said that he felt under duress and then blamed the heat and his bald head. Yeah, it's absolutely farcical. It really is. But I will be, like I say, discussing this next week. I don't want to take up too much of your weekend. Okay, love you guys. So I'm going to, like I say, discuss this in a little bit more detail next week. Break it down, break down the body language, as you know that I like to do. Harry has blamed the people that invited him. He was under duress to wear the LA Dodgers hat. And also because it was too hot and he needed to cover his bald head. But let me know what you think in the comments regarding Harry, regarding Meghan. And that's it from me, because obviously it is the weekend. I don't want to keep you any longer. As you are watching this, I will be at my mum and dad's enjoying some quality time with them. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you don't want to miss future uploads. Also, don't forget my Bite-Size Tea channel. The link is at the end of this channel. It's a little circle with a caricature picture of me and Arthur. Click on that, it will take you straight there. So my lovely, wonderful Bubble family, I will see you next week. As always, take care, look after yourself, and I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care, bye-bye. Mwah.